You are listening to WGODradio.net. Praise up and listen.
Hey, this is Pam Perry. We are here with the Speakers Magazine show, the Spycast, going from the page to the podcast. And so I'm just excited today because we have Miss Allison Vaughn here today. So if you are listening on iTunes or on WGOD.net, you can hear us. But if you are on the Speakers Magazine Facebook page, you can see us. And she has on this wonderful outfit. Before I even introduce her, I want you to see this outfit. She got this from
Dubai.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, so if you just listening, you missing this Dubai outfit here she got on. But let me give you a little bit about Speakers Magazine to let you know what that's all about. Speakers Magazine was a creation that is coming up on a year now, Miles, right? Coming up on a year this June.
Yes.
We dated Miles Dixon is over here, the mediapreneur, and he's got a bunch of hats on today. He's a producer. He is the creative director for Speakers Magazine. He's got it all going on. But Speakers Magazine was an idea that we came up with to give speakers a platform and promotion to get their messages out to the world. And so one of the things that Speakers Magazine does is that we go to different events. So the first event we went to was Power Networking. We went to events with Dee Marshall. We went to events with Les Brown. And May, we're going to be at an event with Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver. So that May issue will be coming out soon. But the issue here that I'm talking about now is from January. So we highlight all of the speakers. And so one of the speakers we have is Allison Vaughn. You can see it on Facebook Live here. So we have an award-winning entrepreneur, keynote speaker, author, community advocate, and philanthropist. Okay, say that fast, twice, 3 times. Allison Vaughn is a sought-after public speaker, both nationally and internationally. In the fall of 2014, she was chosen to speak at the World Islamic Economic Forum in Dubai, and also this year as well, 2018. So the UAE on the rise of women entrepreneurs. Vaughn has inspired audiences of churches, civil rights organizations, major corporations, and nonprofits. Just as a side note, we just had the NAACP dinner here this last Sunday. It's the largest sit-down dinner in the world, and Allison was the chair of that a few years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, about a few years ago. And so that is a huge deal. We had Cory Booker, they had Cory Booker this year as a keynote speaker, so she was the chair of that a few years ago. She's also a speaker at business leadership conferences, schools, universities, youth councils, obviously women's groups. She loves fashion and more, with her practical and unique insights on advocacy, entrepreneurship, empowerment, diversity, urban workforce development. And we'll get into that a little bit more about that. She's the founder and CEO, if you've heard of it, Jackets for Jobs. And she's also the author of a book called Miss Gold Digger. Okay, I'm holding it up for you all to see on Facebook Live here. Success is Sexy, a CEO's Guide to Goal Setting, Dressing the Part, and Having It All. This is a tell-all guide for today's businesswoman who wants to get what she wants for herself by herself, okay? She is also the co-author of another book called Inspired Style. Both of these are on Amazon. This guide is, it's a glamour guide. This is a guide to glamour at any age, and it features Vaughn and several other top image experts sharing tips to help women to look and be their best. Yes. And then as a member, she's a member of the Association of Image Consultants International. She has contributed to several articles on image, style, and business etiquette. So you can see that Jackets for Jobs really fits her brand as a speaker, and she also is a very good style coach as well. A Detroit native, she earned her bachelor's degree from Michigan State, go green, go white, and graduated from the Women's Campaign at Yale University, sponsored by Yale Law School, and is a Goldman Sachs scholar. And she can tell you a little bit more about what that is all about, because she went to an event with Goldman Sachs this year where Warren Buffett was actually one of the presenters as well. Her signature presentations, if you would like to book her, is Find Your Signature Style and Rise Up and Meet Your Goals. Practical ways to stand out, shine, and make a difference now. So obviously you can find Allison Vaughn at AllisonVaughn.com. That's where you'll find everything, including a video, and you can get her books and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I just want to welcome Allison Vaughn. Yay! Hi, hey. So the first thing I want to do.
That's my special effect.
Thank you, Miles. I'm going to give you a little clip of some applause. Okay. But one of the first things I wanted to ask Allison is that in terms of like how we met. How long has it been since we met? She's in the studio now. How long has it been?
Oh my goodness, Pam, I don't know how long it's been since we've known each other. We've known each other for a while, and thanks to you and all these speaking engagements, so many things have been going on with me. So, all right, I'm just trying to do some adjustments here so I can get in the camera, have the mic and all. So, but going back to your question, Pam, I'm not sure. We've known each other for a while.
And one of the things that Allison is really, really good, she talks about in her book, is about networking. So it's not just knowing people, but when she meets people, she makes an impression on people and she keeps in touch. And so one of the things that Allison talks about is really networking and how...
Well, I learned that from you, because your favorite statement, when you show up, you go up.
That's it.
And I put that in the book, and I quoted you in that book. When you show up, you go up. So you all remember that. I got that quote and that statement from Pam Perry right here.
It is.
And it is so true, because I have noticed, yes, when you show up, you're networking with people, you're right in front of their face, they're able to connect with you, see you, and they're like, hey, you know, I've got this event coming up, you're right here in front of me, why don't I book you? So that really does work, networking. That's so important.
I like, this is in the first chapter, you talk about touched by billionaires. So give us the story, the Oprah story.
Oh my goodness. My Oprah story, I absolutely love Oprah. Who does not love Oprah?
I love Oprah.
Actually, I've been on Oprah a couple of times, but the one time I was a guest in the audience, and at the end of the show, one of the producers said, we're looking for people to do makeovers. Anybody interested? So naturally, everyone raised their hand, and so at the end, they said, why should we select you for a makeover? And I said, because of what I do at Jackets for Jobs. I'm always outfitting people. I'm always giving them makeovers. It would just be nice for me to have a makeover. And they said, well, if we're interested, we'll call you back. So you can imagine all the interviews that they had to do, because everyone wanted to be on Oprah. And so I'm driving down 6 Mile here in Detroit. My phone rings, and I answered it. I'm not one of those people, I don't recognize the number, I'm not going to answer it. I answered that phone, and it happened to be her producer. I almost had an accident. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's how I became a guest on her show, talking about makeovers. And so they sent a limo for me. Wow. I was in the green room, met her producers. I got a nice gift afterwards. It was just, they treat you like royalty when you're a guest on the Oprah show.
And then also you met her again at the Pontiac Silver, not the Pontiac Silver.
Right, when she had her big forum, and then I was a VIP guest for that as well. So she's just got good energy, good vibes. Got a chance to meet and network with Gail, her best friend. So just good people, and just happy to be in their presence.
And so now tell us a little bit. Now you've got this outfit on from Dubai. Tell us about how that all came about as well.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love Dubai. I'm trying to figure out how I can move there. I talk about being around wealthy, successful entrepreneurs. I mean, like 50% of the people that live in Dubai, they say are millionaires. Can you believe that? 50%?
Wow.
Yeah. And in Abu Dhabi, they say 50% of those people are billionaires.
Wow.
It's just nothing but money rolling around in the Middle East.
Wow.
And so I had, you want to go there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so my next trip, you need to go to Dubai with me.
Wow.
So I've gone to Dubai 2 times. The first time I was speaking for the World Islamic Economic Forum on the rise of women entrepreneurs. The second time I was there part of a Michigan delegation of entrepreneurs, and we were there for global women's issues, talking about women being entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of opportunities in Dubai. The people are friendly. It's hot as all get out, but but it's nice. When I was there, it was like low 80s, and that was considered cold.
Wow. Okay, so it is hot.
It's very, very hot.
So Allison, so tell us, a lot of people don't know about how Jackets for Jobs started. So I know you've told the story a lot, but I want our listeners who have not heard about how Jackets for Jobs started. And you graduated from Michigan State. You had a career. You were working, and then you got this God idea to do Jackets for Jobs, and which is celebrating 18 years, 18
right?
years this year.
Well, something you said very important, a God idea. Before I started Jackets for Jobs, I used to be with United Airlines, fly the friendly skies. And so I was working with United Airlines. I was hiring flight attendants, and I became a flight attendant. And I was enjoying my career, you know, traveling. You know, you're in Hawaii one day and London the next. I mean, it was a wonderful lifestyle. But God put something on my heart and said, I would like for you to do this business. I want you to empower other women. I want to uplift them. I want you to help women that are on welfare, help women that are in shelters, women that have been battered and abused and need to get started and enter into the workforce. And so I birthed Jackets for Jobs 18 years ago. We just celebrated our 18th anniversary. Wow. Yes, we had actress Kim Fields as our keynote speaker, and she is wonderful. And everyone knows Kim Fields from Tootie, from The Facts of Life, and
Regine,
yes, for Living Single, and then she was herself on The Housewives of Atlanta. So she gave a good message. Our theme this year was Speak the Truth, and she spoke the truth. And so she talked about, her life. And so, so 18 years of helping Detroiters, helping Detroit job seekers get back on their feet with workforce development, empowerment, helping them put their best foot forward, not only to get a job, but to keep a job. And so it's been a wonderful 18 years, and we continue to do what we do. We stay true to our mission, which is empowering.
Who are some of your partners?
One of our we have two main partners, the City of Detroit, which is Detroit Employment Solutions Corporation, and our other partner is TJ Maxx. So I hope everyone goes out and shops at TJ Maxx because
TJ Maxx.
They give back to the community. They supply the clothing for our clients so they can look nice and professional when they go out shopping. So yes, whenever you see me, if I'm shopping, it's going to be TJ Maxx because I want to support who's supporting us.
Yes, that is good. And I wanted people to know that too, that TJ Maxx, even though you go there, you get the max for the minimum, that sort of thing, but they do give back, and they help women who are in shelters or in between jobs or just are on down and out, and Allison helps them get back up on their feet. So Allison has so much going on. So amongst all of this, right, she's doing these events, and tell us who are the keynote speakers you've had over Jackets to Jobs over the years.
Oh, we've had some really, really good keynote speakers. We've had Star Jones.
Yep.
We've had Sean Robinson from Access Hollywood. That's a Detroiter.
Yes.
We've had Ernest Harden, who played the son on Good Times. He has Detroit roots. We've had
Alfred.
Yes. Go ahead. And yes, we've had him from Black Enterprise, which was a great keynote speaker. He was our keynote speaker last year, and we honored men. And then we had supermodel Veronica Webb, and then we had fashion designer Tracy Reese. And so we usually have some sort of Detroit connection, like Tracy Reese is from Detroit, supermodel Veronica Webb is from Detroit. So we like to have that. And then we also had Shaquille O'Neal's mother, Lucille O'Neal, as our keynote speaker because she wrote a book. She didn't have Detroit connections, but I like sports, and she was a really good keynote speaker, and she was talking about her book.
So speaking of books, that you can see this right here if you're looking at us on Facebook Live on the Speakers Magazine page. Gold Digger. Okay, so out of all the things that she's doing, she's busy in the community, she's cheering NAACP tenors, she's doing all this, and she's a mom, right? Happy Mother's Day early.
Thank you, and same to you.
So she wrote a book. So the book is actually on Amazon, so you can actually get it there, or you can go to AllisonVaughn.com. But she really talks a lot about goal setting. And so today we said we were going to talk about ambition. And on the way here, I was really listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was talking about ambition and, how, CEO, now that it's just like sexy to say that you're a CEO. He said, but what we don't know, what we don't really hear people talk about is that it's the hustle, it's the work.
Yes.
And
so true.
And so kind of tell us a little bit about what this book is all about, because obviously Allison is reaching her goals or setting goals and making new goals and reaching them. So kind of tell us a little bit about Miss Gold Digger.
Yeah, so Miss Gold Digger, a CEO's Guide to Setting Goals, Dressing the Part. It talks about networking, being at the right place at the right time. We also talk about how to be a stiletto in a room full of flats. I just love that title. And so how to stand out, because you can go somewhere, you can network, but sometimes you're networking with, I don't want to say the wrong people, but you want to make sure that everything that you do is strategic. And so how to stand out so you can make that right connection, and how to get motivated, because sometimes we do so much and then we just kind of lose momentum, and you just need something to encourage you just to stay focused and keep going. And so I also talk about a vision board. Now this is what I think is so very important, because this is what has really changed my life, is a vision board. You just go to the dollar store, get a big big board, and just start pasting things that you want to do. So if you want to lose weight, you find like a supermodel with a small body, you cut your picture out, your head, and tape it to it. You do that. I mean, if you want a new car, you cut out a picture of a car. If you want a promotion, you do stair steps to what that new job is. Whatever your vision, whatever your goal is, you paste it on that vision board, and you have it visible where you can see it every single day, because if you visualize it, you're more likely to achieve it. And I do that I've been doing that for years, and it has definitely made a difference, and I suggest you all create a vision board. It would change your life.
So it's not just cutting out the pictures. Obviously, Allison's doing the work. So it took time for her to sit down and write the book. It took time for her to actually publish the book. It took time for her to do Jackets for Jobs, to write the grants, to do all of this type of thing. So we want to talk about it's an ambition, it's setting goals, and it's work. And a lot of the work is what people don't really want to do. And so kind of give that whole chapter where it says get motivated, because a lot of times we're like working so hard. It's like, oh my God, now I got to do a podcast. Now I have to do Facebook. Now I have to do I got to do all this stuff. And you know, and I've got to get a life. I got to get my health together. So kind of explain how people pull it all together for balance to still achieve the goals, but really knowing that they have to work.
Okay, you want to really know? You want a secret?
Yes.
You really want to know the secret?
Yes, that's it.
You hire a good PR coach.
I can pay her to say that.
You just hire a good PR person.
But accountability is important. It really is.
Yes.
I even have a coach, because I'm telling you, because sometimes we could just be off track, and it's like, where am I going? And it's like somebody pull you in. It's like, did you do this, and this? Okay, cut that off. Do this. Focus on that. This is where your gift is. Do this and do that.
Right.
And it does. We need accountability today, because I think today so many people, we're so, I want to say ADHD.
Oh yes, I'll admit I think I am. I'm ADD. I'm all of that, and that's why you just have to hire somebody to help keep you, in check, because otherwise you can just lose it. And so you just need someone to help you stay focused, help you connect the dots. And so to me, that's what a good PR person is. They help you connect the dots, and then they help you stay focused. And so if anybody's out there looking for someone, because you have so many things that you want to do, you're juggling so many balls, and you want to figure out, okay, I just need some help. Hire a good PR person, and if you want to know one, I can tell you a good PR person. And can I tell them who it is?
Yes.
Okay, the good PR person, her name is Pam Perry.
Hey.
Pam Perry, such an easy name to remember. She's on every social media platform, and so I would suggest that you go to Pam Perry PR, Pam Perry what is it?
PamPerryPR.com.
Yeah, there you go.
PamPerryPR.com.
Yeah.
And one of the things too, when I work with people for PR, because a lot of people want to be speakers, and a lot of people want to, just rebuild their brand, is that they start out with really good pictures. This picture here was taken by Monica Morgan, so we'll give her. So it starts with a good style. Obviously, Allison already had that, but then a good picture, written bio. So talk about your bio. I mean, you've done a lot of stuff, but to be succinct in 250 words is really hard. It's really hard. So kind of talk about how your writing is important, branding, knowing your niche, and just all of that. And you've hired different people over the year too to help write your website. I mean, you don't do it all. You don't do your website.
you can't do it all, and that's what I'm saying. That's why if you're going to invest, you're going to spend money to go to a concert, you're going to spend money on clothes. If you're going to do all this money, invest in yourself with something that's going to be lasting. Don't just like, I want to buy a new pair of shoes, and these shoes, that money, and you wear those shoes once or twice. Buy something that you can invest in, that you're going to see residuals. You're going to see a return on your investment. And that would be hiring somebody to help you. That's why they have people specialize in different fields, because they're a pro at what they do. And so my advice today, and my advice to people that are watching, is invest in somebody that can help you get to the next level. You're your best product, and you want your product to shine. You're like a package, so you want your package to be packaged up very nice. So just like Christmas time, when you have Christmas gifts and you package them up and make them look real pretty, that's what you want to do. So if you have to hire a good gift wrapper, that's what you need to do. Invest in yourself.
That's good. That is good. A lot of people don't understand that. They think that, I can put this in my bio that I am this and this and this, and they'll name the different titles that they are. I am a such and such specialist. I'm the founder. I'm the owner. And then you look at their timeline, or you look at their pictures, and it's like it looks raggedy, lack of a better word, or their bio has typos in it, or it's not written well. One of the worst things with Allison's bio, it starts out with Allison Bond is a sought-after public speaker, both nationally and internationally. It starts out with a power statement. I have read bios where it says, such and such was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I'm like, okay, we all know that we were born. Okay, so that you could kind of like disregard those words. And it reads like obituary. It's like, oh my God, and they were raised in Detroit public schools. I'm like, oh my God. I said, please, let's put some juice in your bio. I mean, because that's the first thing people are going to read when we go on LinkedIn, when we go on
Right.
Facebook, we go on our website. The first things people read about, whether they're going to try and do business with you or whether they're going to try to date you, they're going to just read that about section, right?
That's right.
So you got to have that right, and that's just so important. And we're in this era of like swipe left, swipe right, that sort of thing. So people need to have the right photos to really make sure. I mean, people work on those brands. It's like
Right.
work on your business brand as well, because it matters. It really
does matter. It does. It matters a lot. And so I just think being connected with the right people,
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that your inner circle is important, because what's that saying? If you associate with 5 broke people, then you're likely to be the 6.
Mm-hmm. Or the top 5 people that you're around, you will become like them. That's
Exactly.
for sure. Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be around people, make sure that you're around somebody where their success, their good energy, their good vibes rubs off on you, and vice versa. So I'm very careful with the circle that I have.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the quotes. Oh, is this backwards, Miles? Is it backwards? Does it show backwards?
I don't know. I can't see.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this quote says, "Hustle until your haters ask if you're hiring."
Oh, I love that quote. Don't you just love it?
It is. It is just one of those things where you have to hustle. And when I say hustle, meaning that a lot of times people will spend, I tell people, it says, do you watch Empire, or do you watch what? I was like, no, I don't watch that. It was like, it ain't adding nothing to my life. It's like, I am working.
That's
I am
right.
working. If I'm not like physically working, I'm strategizing, I'm thinking, I'm writing. I mean, that's just, if I do anything, I'm going to conferences, I'm always trying to do that. So when I say hustle, people are just like, I'm just spending all this time on Facebook or whatever. It's like, you need to do the research. It's so important, especially for speakers, to really understand, to study the speaking industry. Every month in Speakers Magazine, we have what every speaker needs to do, why every speaker needs to be on LinkedIn, why every speaker needs to podcast, why every speaker needs to, what was it this month, have a speaking contract, why every speaker, so the Speakers Magazine is a tool where we highlight and feature speakers, but we also try to feed speakers in terms of what they need to do. So you need to understand that. And so we're at graduation time, Allison, and a lot of graduates are graduating from high school and college. You going from Michigan State, and Aubrey's listening today. Hey, Aubrey.
Hi.
What advice would you give a recent graduate that is going into the world today, the world of work? Because obviously, jackets for jobs and that sort of thing. So what advice would you give Aubrey? Say she just graduated from Michigan State.
Oh, well, congratulations to your daughter, and go Spartans. So whatever field she graduated, whatever she's doing, I would find a mentor in that particular field. Mm-hmm. So let's just say nursing. So if you went into nursing, then find a doctor or a head nurse that you really think is phenomenal, and shadow that person, mentor that person, take them out to lunch. Tell them, I just graduated, I don't have much, but I'll treat you to a cup of coffee. So, $5. Well, if you go to Starbucks, $10.
That's true.
But and just treat them to a cup of coffee and just kind of pique their brain. Say, I just graduated. This is a field I'm interested in. Can you kind of tell me some steps to take? Because the thing about a mentor or role model, they can help you go from A to Z, and they can help you jump. They can say, okay, instead of going from A, B, C, D, if you do this, you can go from A to P. A to Q, and so they can help you eliminate a lot of steps and help you get there a lot quicker, because they can tell you the successes that they've taken, the pitfalls that they did that help you eliminate those pitfalls. So find somebody in a particular field that you're interested in, and ask, can you shadow them, a role model with, play with them, just so you can go in that particular field.
That is good. That is so true, because a lot of times this generation's recent graduates are like, I'm just going to go on LinkedIn, I'm going to look for a job, or Indeed, or whatever it is. But you need to do that, not just Facebook, but FaceTime.
Exactly.
With people. And actually you develop a rapport.
Right.
And so one of the things, when people develop a rapport with you, if they like you, then they will then mentor you and introduce you to their network, and so
Right.
forth and so on. So I do think that's so important to really do that FaceTime with things. One of the things too that I try to tell Aubrey is to go to different conferences and that sort of things too.
Oh yeah, conferences in her field. Yeah.
And then talk about some of the conferences that you have spoken at this last year. I know you spoke at I can't remember some of them.
Well, I'm going back to Ohio to speak back at I guess it's Halle Berry's alma mater, the Tri-C College in Cleveland, Ohio. So I spoke there last year. I just received a letter to come back and speak again.
Oh, good.
So that meant I must have done something well for them to ask me to come back again. And so, and those are students, at that college. And so they're trying to figure out their next step. So I'm happy to be able to go back and just share some more tips from my book, Miss Gold Digger, and just kind of like what we're talking about now. So I'm looking forward to that.
And then you also spoke at MAFE, the Michigan Association of Female Entrepreneurs.
Yes. So that was wonderful. So, and they have an event coming up. So hats off to MAFE, because that's a wonderful group of women that are really doing some phenomenal things.
So not only does she hire speakers for her event for Jackets for Jobs, but she also speaks as well. And she spoke several times this year at different events and that sort of thing. So one of the things I want people to know is that when you are a speaker, to always continue to put yourself out there, because you never know, especially in print, because it's like, okay, so this is going out to different event planners, this magazine, this piece, this speaker sheet is going out, and so it goes where you can't go. And so it lets people know what her signature presentations are. Find your signature style and rise up and meet your goals. Practical ways to stand out and shine and make a difference. So, and then it says how to contact her for speaking engagements. So it has her email on there, AllisonBondspeaks@gmail.com.
Right. I like how you said that. The book goes where you can't go. So you can't be everywhere, but this book can go many places that you can't. And so many people will see this. And so when you're in a magazine, it's like a coffee table magazine where people are going to sit and they're going to pick it up, and so it's,
or tear it out and take it with them and say, I don't need her now, but I need her maybe next year
in the future.
Right. So that's one of the things that I'm just a paper person too. I love paper, so I love paper. So that's one to say, oh, here we go, Millionaire Moves, Allison.
There you go, Millionaire Moves. I like that. Yes,
that's a book from Bill Bacard. He did an ad in Speakers Magazine. So if you want any more information on Speakers Magazine, go to speakersmagazine.net. Make sure that you sign up and get our free gift if you go to that website there as well. And then make sure that you share this particular live as well. Share this live out to different people so that people will see what we're doing here in the Big D. And Miles is our next guest. Keyed up?
Key?
Yeah. Did they key up? Did they call in?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but we got it. We got it on.
Oh, okay. We got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes.
Okay. So, Allison, and our last thing that we've got 3 minutes here. So, I'm going to let you. I think you had an affirmation. It was affirmations in the back. No, this was the workout one. It was talking about affirmations. And
I have so many different things in that book. It's just like, where do you start and where do you go to?
Well, give me a little bit. This is about success is sexy. So what you did on Facebook, talk about how you asked people what did they think sexy meant, and then you got actually quotes from that. That was kind of cool to do.
Oh, I like, a lot of people like that chapter, and especially if you're a woman looking to, date and you're trying to figure out what's in a man's head. He talks, look how you turned your head. Because we talk about success is sexy, but it's not so much in the physical, right? It's just more in the mind. And so out of the mouths of men, and we talk about, we did a survey and we did a focus group and asked men, what is your definition of sexy? How do you define sexy, and what do you find sexy in a woman? And many of them, it wasn't the physical, like, showing your breast or anything like that. It was basically your mind. And so such things, intangible, right? And so it's, talking about, there's so many things that you could say is sexy, but most of the men just talked about her mind, and so her self-confidence.
Her mystique. Someone said it's a mystique. And I was like, okay.
Yes.
I like when it says there's nothing like a woman that is sexy when she carries herself when no one is looking. And then it says confidence blended with humility. And this is what men says. He said, I could describe a lot of superficial yet attractive things I notice about women that I personally like, but sexy to me is a man
emulated in her poise, class, confidence, resilience, posture, both physical and emotional, and character.
Oh my God.
Can I say something?
Yes.
What I really believe, I tell anybody that's sexy to me, is me and my wife, or fiance, woman, laying in the bed, both reading books.
Oh,
I like that.
He'd be reading this.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
I find that very sexy, other than just just gawking at each other. But I find that very sexy for a woman to sit next to me, read a book, and I can be in the bed. Just something that really something to where I know her mind is being intrigued by.
I love that. And see, coming from a man, hearing that, two people laying in the bed reading is sexy. I like that.
I need to see a photo of that. I need to do that like a little Instagram. Like, this is sexy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I definitely would hit like 1,000 times and have all kind of heart. I said it's nothing more sexier than women that thinks.
Smart.
You got to They go phone call.
Okay, all right. I like this right here. I'm gonna read this last one here. And this one's kind of long, number 29. You want to read it, or you want to read it?
You can go right ahead.
It says, sexy. It says, the life choice. This is what a man said from Facebook in the center book. It says, the life choices she makes early in her life. I admire a woman that invests in herself first, such as in education and self-improvement, before taking on other responsibilities such as motherhood. A dynamic thinker that does not base her life on materialism, but natural beauty, where she can look at herself naked without makeup or embellishments and love the person she sees in the mirror. A woman who appreciates every attribute and flaw and allows a man to love the very thing she sees without exception or excuse. In other words, a woman that has confidence to love herself first without vanity, with humble appeal and a thankfulness for the legacy of beauty within her ancestors bestowed upon her. This sounds like someone's like, hey, the measure of a woman is not by her trivial matters of curvature, shapes, and smiles, but by the elation she brings to a man to respect, love, and learn from her. I'm like,
exactly. That was good, wasn't it?
It's 50 of those in this book. Okay, that's just one chapter. So you want to go to Amazon.com and get this book from Alison Vaughn. It's called Miss Gold Digger. Success is Sexy, a CEO's Guide to Goal Setting, Dressing the Part, and Having It All. So, Allison, thank you so much.
Yes, and you're like so spring. I love your outfit. You're just ready for this nice warm weather.
Yes, I put it on my white shoes and my white pants, and I'm like ready. It's even before Memorial Day, but I'm breaking some rules. There you go.
Oh, no, hey, the rule is be yourself.
Right. That's it. Well, Allison Vaughn, thank you so much, and thank you for being one of our speakers in Speakers Magazine.
Sure, yes.
She actually was in the January issue where we had John Leslie Brown on the cover, which is Les Brown's son. He was on that issue. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Cool. All right. And I think we have our next guest coming up. We do, Miss Sade. Hey, can you play a little Sade Adu music? Can you oh, too late.
All gospel.
It's all gospel. Oh, yeah, Sade. Okay, yeah, Sade is not gospel. Okay. But I do like her. I mean, she ain't doing nothing bad. But, I got it. All right, so we have Miss Sade Adu coming up. How are you? Are you there, Miss Sade Adu?
Yes, I am. How is everyone doing today?
I am doing good. Thank you so much for joining us. Where are you in the world right now?
Today, I am back in Madison, Wisconsin, where it is raining.
Okay, and where did you just come from?
I was in San Diego over the weekend at Speaking Right with the fabulous Lisa Nichols, supporting her on her live streaming team. So
there you go.
I'm back in Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, you are in this month's May Speakers Magazine, and I just want to say thank you for your support for Speakers Magazine, and I'm going to really talk a little bit about what we're doing here. But let me tell people a little bit about Sade. I just jumped right in the conversation about where Sade is. It's like, well, who is Sade? So Sade Adu, not the singer, but a different Sade, Shadey, Adu. She is transforming women's businesses with the power of branding. Okay, she is a digital brand strategist, international speaker, best-selling author, and the founder of Savvy Solutions Consulting. Sade helps women entrepreneurs use the power of social media to brand, build, and monetize digital programs, products, and services. She really is, in addition to being a full-time entrepreneur, she is also a doctoral candidate at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the recipient of the prestigious Gates Millennium Scholarship. Hey, that ain't easy to do. With a sincere passion for her line of work and tenacious drive to succeed, Sade strives to make even more colossal changes in the world around her. So you want to find out more about Sade, go to SadeYadu.com, and that's Sade, ShadeYadu, ADU. So Sade, thank you so much for joining us today. So tell us what you have going on, or tell us what you want us to know first about Sade.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be in this month's edition of Speakers Magazine. Yay! Make sure you get a copy of it. It has the fabulous Dr. Avis Jones the Weaver on the cover.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited to be a part of that, be featured in that magazine for this month. And Tim told you a little bit about me. I am a digital brand strategist, and my goal is to help entrepreneurs, small business owners, and thought leaders build their brands online. So the social media has been transformational. It's changed my life, and it's changed the lives of people around the world. And it allows all of us to connect with people with just a tweet or a click of a button. Mm-hmm. And that power is what I want to help other people tap into. You don't have to have a big network. You don't need to know millions of people. But if you can leverage these free platforms like a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you can reach people from around the world. Mm-hmm. And through that process, it has allowed me to travel. So I usually say, people say, where are you from? I'm originally from New Jersey, but it depends on the day of the week. So last week I started the week in New Jersey, and then I ended the week in California, and now I'm back in the Midwest in Wisconsin.
Wow.
And it just has transformed, and a lot of that has happened because of social media. My speaking and traveling has been transformed. So if you are a speaker, because I know that you're watching this and listening, make sure you are leveraging digital media to build your brand as a speaker. There are people who are having events and shows and conferences, and they need to hear from your voice. So definitely make sure that you are showing up on social with your strategy to get you booked, because that's what this is definitely about, leveraging our brands so more people can be transformed by our messages. One of the things that I do have coming up is my conference, the Boldly Empowering Entrepreneurs Conference. Mm-hmm, it is June 21st through the 23rd in Newark, New Jersey at the Newark Airport Renaissance Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel, and our goal is to help entrepreneurs, experts, and speakers build their brands online and offline. And we have a team of experts that are coming in from around the country to teach you how to build your brand and make money online and offline.
So who are some of those speakers?
Also a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Our keynote speaker is the phenomenal Lucinda Cross. She's a speaker. She's an international speaker, coach, and author, TEDx. She was featured on the show on Centric called Queen Boss, where she was pitching. It was like a show similar to Shark Tank for women of color, and she was pitching her product. And she's going to be talking about how she's been able to get her product and talk into and have connections with the likes of people from HSN, the Home Shopping Network, and Walmart are people who were interested in her product, and how she's been able to leverage that and connect and transform lives. We also have just a phenomenal lineup of speakers from around the country that are coming to talk about sponsorship. How do you get people to sponsor your programs, products, and services and events? I know some of you out there may be introverts, and you're like, well, how do I still, build my brand and my business even though I'm an introvert? I have one person who's a self-proclaimed introvert that's going to be talking about marketing your business as an introvert. We have people who are going to be talking about government contracts. One of the things I like to say is government contracts, they cash your check. If they write you a check, that check is not going to bounce. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure we're leveraging government contracts and putting in participating in that opportunity, because they're looking for people just like us. Mm-hmm. But if we don't know that these opportunities don't exist because we're not women certified businesses or minority certified businesses or veteran certified businesses, veteran-owned certified businesses, we are leaving money and opportunities on the table by not having those certifications. Mm-hmm. So I've brought some people in. We're going to talk about building your brand as a speaker, creating products that you can sell. Even if you're speaking for free, we're going to show you how to still get that fee. So there's we want to invite you. So if you're tired of not knowing how to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and you're ready to elevate, you're ready to grow, you're ready to really take it to the next level, then I really invite you to this year's Boldly Empowering Entrepreneurs Conference. And you can find out more information at thebecon.live. That is TheBeecon.live.
And that's June 21st through the 23rd. That's going to be at the Renaissance Newark Airport Hotel, where we were there for the last session, where it was a speaker's cover was Dee Marshall, and we were Sade was with me there, and she was part of the social media team for the Dee's conference as well. But talk a little bit about, Sade, how we met. Talk about how that all came about. How what's the word, serendipity it became once I kind of reached out to you, and then we ran into each other several times, and then we became like twins.
This is the power of social media. This is the perfect example. Our story of how we met is the poster child of why social media is so powerful and how social media is business media.
Mm-hmm.
So I
like
connected
that.
with Pam. Pam reached out to me via Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So many of you may be afraid to read your messages and connect with people. She said, "Hey, I've been watching you, and I would love to collaborate. Let's connect." And I said, "Sure." So we got on the phone, and we literally planned a webinar to do together.
Yes.
I said, "Why not?"
Yes. So
Let's
do
be
it.
open to collaboration, be open to connection. And through that process, we started to talk, and we realized that we knew people in common.
Dr. Missy.
And then I realized that we were going to be at the same event in Detroit. I said, I'm going to be in Detroit. And then we realized we were going to be at the same event, and then we ended up speaking at that event.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dr. Missy
prior to
Johnson.
that, we met again the month before that at another event in the DMV, Washington, D.C., Virginia area at the Power Networking Conference. And it just so happened every single day we were wearing the same exact colors.
Every day.
So,
and Giselle was there as well.
Every day.
Giselle Bonds was there as well.
And we connected with Giselle, and we connected with so many other people, and partnerships and collaborations are happening. So I want all the people who are watching this and listening to this, be open to collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
I could have said, no, I don't know who Pam Perry is, and just ignored the message. But look what kind of opportunities, look what kind of blessings came from that. We have, how many events have we been at? Like 3 or 4 at this point, and we have more coming up that we're going to be at. How many events have you introduced me to? How many people have we connected each other with?
Wow.
That other collaborations and connections are happening. So be open to connecting with other people, because they could be attached to your destiny. I had no idea by just responding to that message on Facebook last year that I would be right here talking to you on your show. I had no idea.
Nope.
And this is a really connection that happened through social media, and then the relationship developed even more when we were able to meet in person. So for people who are counting out social media, the relationship can start on social media, but you definitely want to take it offline and connect with people in person so you can really get a feel of who they are. And then sometimes it's the opposite way. You'll meet someone in person and you'll rekindle or keep the relationship going online.
And I usually do that when I go to a conference and that sort of thing, and I meet someone for the first time. I usually don't exchange business cards because sometimes they get lost, but immediately right there I either start following them on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, and I usually say, let's connect, give me your name so we can connect, usually LinkedIn, from a conference. And then from LinkedIn, it's like we usually keep in contact during that way, because when you get LinkedIn, you see their business background and all of that, and so that's really like the main thing. Giselle just joined us on Facebook Live, and she said, can you get Sade closer to your mic? Sade is in Milwaukee, so she's not in the mic. So Sade, maybe Miles, he can turn Sade's mic up a little bit on her end. Okay, so you turned her mic up a little bit. So yeah, I would like Sade, but she just came from California with you, Giselle. So she's in Milwaukee right now. I mean, she's in Wisconsin right now. So Sade, tell us a little bit about your background too. I read a little snippet about with your branding and your speaking and that sort of thing, but speak a little bit about your background in terms of where you came from and where you are, and then your little bit when you were overseas as well, and then also tell us about where you are in your PhD program.
No problem. So when I first started on social media about 2006 with Facebook, and I said this is a waste of time. I did not want to start an account. They forced me to do it because I was in student government hosting events, and they said this is how we communicate with each other in college. And I really did not want to do it. And as soon as I did, I was hooked. I did not see this as an opportunity to do business because at the time I was just a student. When I went overseas to the Republic of Kazakhstan, I went there to teach for 3 years. It was the way that I was able to keep in contact with everyone that I knew and the people that I was familiar with. I was 5,000 miles away from my family, the culture, the food, and the people that I knew. And that was the way for me to stay up to date with what was going on. I was able to share in with people who were giving birth and getting married and celebrating their milestones. Social media was the way for me to stay connected. And vice versa, it was also a way for people to stay connected to me because they're like, Sade, where are you and why are you there and what is going on? So they wanted to know what I was doing. So I was sharing my life experiences of being a young woman in the Republic of Kazakhstan living out my early 20s there, teaching, and people wanted to know those experiences, so I turned it into a blog.
Yeah.
And we had the foresight in the beginning that maybe, this is a story that is probably really uncommon, so you probably should chronicle it, because one day it can be turned into a book. You just never know where this is going to go. And I started chronicling my story and sharing it and sharing my travels, and people kept asking me, how did you do this? Like, how did you know that this was something you wanted to do? And I just said, I honestly said, if I don't do it, no one else will. I need to step out there, take a leap of faith, so someone else will have the courage. And through that process, what was once unfamiliar became very familiar. What was once uncomfortable became extremely comfortable. I got used to my life overseas. I was very comfortable. I was doing well in my early 20s. There was money in the bank. I was like, don't look at the tag, just throw it in the bag. I could travel. I was having a really great life, but I realized that there was more. And I said, there's something else I am supposed to be doing right now. And that led me to, a month before I quit my job, it led me to starting a business online so that I could stay connected, I could motivate and help people live out their best life. Because I knew it was bigger than me just traveling and jet setting. I knew that other people needed to be brought along this journey. And through that process of becoming, I started off as a life coach. Through that process of becoming a life coach, so many people saw me leverage the skills that I had learned over the years, helping with events and working with politicians, that they kept asking me, how do you build a brand? How do you build a brand? And I could not understand why they kept coming to me, but there was something that they saw in me that they were interested in, they were intrigued by, and they wanted more information. So through that process, I shifted into brand strategy. And this is when I started my business. I've started my business in June of 2014. I started graduate school in August of 2014.
Wow.
So a couple of months later, I was doing an international move and moving to another city that I had never been to before. I'd never been to Wisconsin, only after I had already been accepted and was moving here.
Wow.
So it was two tumultuous things happening at one time: leaving a job, leaving a country, moving across the state, moving across the region to a new location, and starting a business at the same time. Very difficult things, doing them all at the same time. So it definitely was a challenge. And people just kept asking me, how did you build your brand? And through that journey that I took people on, I saw the shift in the change, and I grew a love for branding. I didn't understand. I was like, I talk about it in my book, You Are Enough. I was insecure about it. I was ashamed. I said, I went to school. Got my bachelor's. I got my master's degree in education. And I was like, I'm supposed to be a teacher. I'm supposed to be in a classroom. Like, this is what I groomed my life to do. And now this entrepreneurship bug has bitten me, and now I'm falling in love with something new while I'm getting another degree. And I felt ashamed about it. And then I got to the point where I said, you know what, it's okay to embrace that journey. And each journey, it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been rewarding. It's definitely been challenging trying to balance school and business. And luckily, I passed my exam in January, my preliminary exam, to become a dissertator. So now I am a dissertator. So the last hurdle of this journey of my PhD is to write my proposal and begin working on my dissertation.
Wow.
So we're coming to a close on that part of the journey.
Future Dr. Sade.
Future Dr. Sade, yeah. I changed my name on social media because we want to make sure we get this degree so that we can definitely take it to the next level in business. So I want anybody who's watching this or listening to this, understand it's never a perfect time to start a business. There's never a perfect time when your kids grow up, when you finish this, when you finish that, when mama, moves out. It's just never a perfect time to start. But the key is just start. Start where you are. Take the chances, take your shot, and understand that the best person that you can bet on, the best person that you can invest in is yourself. That's the best investment that you can possibly make, is investing in yourself. And you never know where it's going to take you. I had no idea. I looked at a photo of me from 3 years ago at a conference, and I looked at the people in the photo, and I looked at the growth that some of us have had, and I've looked at the growth some of us have not had. You never know where life is going to be able to take you, but you got to be able to take that action.
I'm looking at the picture right now. So if you see me on Instagram, I'm stalking your Instagram, Sade. I'm putting it up on Facebook Live, right?
And on that photo, behind that story, I was there crying and upset, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and literally I was saying in that I remember that day, I said, I came here to learn about business, and then I got inspired about school because to my left is Dr. Gail, and to my right is Dr. Sonia, and to my front is Dr. Myla. Literally, I go to business events and I try to ignore school. And I'm always surrounded by people who understand my struggle, who want me to do better. They call me, they affirm me, they say, how are you doing? How is it going? Do you need some support? What do you need? And that's one of the things that will happen when you start showing up for yourself and showing up for your vision. There will be other people that come to support it. So I had no idea that going to that event, it was a speaking event and learning how to get paid as a speaker, that all these people that were at that event, many of them are still in my life, we still have a relationship today, are people who support me, affirm me, send me positive messages about my experiences, and they say, keep going. I know it's not easy, but keep on going. So, that was a pivotal event. I didn't know. I was nervous, scared, making investments, didn't know what the future would hold.
That was Marshawn Evans's event. She was on my podcast many years ago when I did a show, and Marshawn and I have collaborated on different things, and because she's at Ministry Marketing is my company, so Marshawn and I collaborated naturally because of that. And so because her message is so Christian oriented, God Confidences, she had that a few years ago, we actually collaborated on that. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, she was at Marshawn's event. And that is just, when what you just said, it says those that show up go up. And when I see you at that conference, how old were you there at that time, Sade? That was, I am just so proud of you because
it said 3 years ago. I think I was 26.
26 years old. 26. You're a Millennium Gate Scholar. You're overseas. You're doing all this. Where do you get this fearlessness from? Where do you get this from? This is something to be bottled. People are asking you about the brand, and you were a life coach. But even before that, before the branding and the life coaching, how do you get this fearlessness to step out at 26-year-old to go to a business conference? Most 26-year-olds trying to hang out at the bar or whatever, trying to get... I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is where do you get this drive, this ambition from? Where does that come from?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know, and I just knew that I needed to be there. So one of the things that has been important to me for my entire life is listening to people who know how to do something I don't know how to do. And going back to the school idea, if you need to learn how to do math, you look for a math teacher. If you need to learn how to do science, you go to a science teacher. So I knew that if I wanted to learn something that I had never learned before and never done before, I needed to find somebody who had done it and did it in the way that I wanted to do it. So it was so important for me to find mentors and invest in coaching and invest in training that will help me accomplish the goals that I had for my life. And that was one of the reasons that I needed to be there. And it was a struggle. I skipped school for the week multiple times. I've just told my professors I have to be somewhere. And I just got to go. And I would tell them, I said, I'm going for this week. I would tell my professors in advance. Usually there would be at least 2 weeks out of each semester that I would be at a conference. And I would just tell them, I would say, I need to be somewhere else because I need to get my breakthrough. And it's not going to happen in this classroom. I wouldn't tell them that part. It's not going to happen in the classroom right now, but I need to be somewhere else. And luckily for PhD students, they expect you to go to conferences. They expect you to be doing things outside of the classroom. So it's more of an expectation, but they really expected me to be doing academic-y things, but I was not. But there's still this kind of expectation that you have other life goals and aspirations, so you need to go out there and go get them.
Right.
So I just knew I needed to be there. And I don't really know where I knew that I needed to be there, and I knew that if I wanted something new for my family, if I wanted something new for my own life, I had to be willing to do something that most people would never do. And what people had not done around me. No, I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. Now the entrepreneurial bug is hitting a couple of my family members now. But when I first started out, there weren't people in my family who were talking about entrepreneurship. It was always go to school and get a good job. Go to school and get a good job. That's going to be our way to prosperity. But for me, I was like, we're working so hard, but what do we have to show for it? I was like, there has to be a better way. There has to be more. And I know I had to get to it. And for me, I did not hate my job. I love teaching. When I go into a school, it is like a kid in the candy store. I love being around students. I volunteer at schools because I truly enjoyed being a teacher. But I knew that there was more. There was a bigger calling on my life that I had to listen to. I had to answer because I needed to be obedient, even though it was painful. I needed to be obedient.
Sade, you are just phenomenal. I just, that beacon, in between being in school and in between running your business and going to all these different conferences, you are boldly empowering entrepreneurs. This is what the beacon is. Boldly Empowering Entrepreneurs Conference is coming up June 21st through the 23rd at the Renaissance Newark Airport Hotel. They can go to beacon.live. That's where they go. And do you have some photo things going on there? I got Giselle Bonds here on the line. Will that be going on as well? Headshots for folks?
We always have photos because one of the things that we understood about building a brand is that you need images, you need photos, you need graphics. And when you are the face of your brand, especially as a speaker, you want to make sure that you have what we call brand assets. Because that will be the difference between the $5 speaker and the $5,000 speaker.
There you
who
go.
Has those brand assets, who can position themselves as an industry leader and expert, even if you've only done one talk. It's so important about the positioning.
I like that.
The perceived value allows you to be compensated at a higher level. Even if you don't feel that way, even if you think that you're not the bee's knees yet, the positioning is so important. So we will be having some video and videography and photography at these events. I definitely set up opportunities for my personal clients to get some of those photos and videos that they need so that they can build their brands as well.
Good.
So yes, we will be having that. You'll be able to sign up for that if there's going to be designated time for that. It's just going to be a powerful experience if you are looking to learn how to build and grow your brand online and offline. You want to learn branding, marketing, and sales are the three topics that we're going to focus on, and all of our topics will come under those pillars: the branding, marketing, and sales. So if you're looking to build your brand, market more, and make some more money, we want to see you at the Boldly Empowering Entrepreneurs Conference.
And I always say those that show up go up. So you want to make sure that you are doing that branding, marketing, and sales. If nothing gets sold, nothing gets done. So you want to know how to sell. So that's one of the things. The other thing too that really, really helps too, if you are a expert, author, or entrepreneur, is that you want to make sure that you get media coverage. So want to make sure that we talk about Master the Media Summit. Dr. Avis is actually our cover for the month of May, but she is actually doing a Master the Media Summit May 18th through the 20th. That's in Arlington, Virginia at the Renaissance, Arlington. It's so funny. Yours is at the Renaissance, Newark, right? So this Renaissance thing is going on, right? But in her conference, we're talking about how to attract media appearances, how to get published, how to earn millions in media without spending one dime. So that's one of the things that you want to make sure. And in terms of photos, you're right. It's the difference between a $500 speaker and a $5,000 paid speaker is the photos. And Giselle Bonds, thank you so much for joining us today, because she helped us with our Branding Superstar, what speakers did last month. And those photos will be coming out in our June issue, but the May one will be coming out very shortly, right, Miles? But you can actually read the cover story at speakersmagazine.net. So, Sade, thank you so much. I know that you had a 1 o'clock appointment. We are right up to the minute here, and I just want to thank you so much. I've been showing your Instagram here.
Thank you so much for having me. And I want to add on for Dr. Avis. Dr. Avis was an attendee at the first Boldly Empowering Entrepreneurs Conference, and she's doing some phenomenal things. You guys want to definitely get there. She is a media maven. And she's definitely going to teach you some valuable things
so
cool. that you get that media coverage.
Cool.
The branding, the marketing, and that PR, you have an explosive combination to really skyrocket your business and your growth.
It is. Thank you so much, Sade, for joining us today on the Speakers Podcast. This is number 2. So I'm just so excited to have you and to have you in the next issue. So thank you so much, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you. So the other thing too, Speakers Magazine wanted to make sure that if you are a black woman wanting to be a millionaire, one of our other speakers is Dr. Venus Opal Reese, theblackwomanmillionaire.com. Make sure you check it out. She's doing her national tour around the country. So you want to make sure that you check it out. I think she's in Miami, and then the next stop is Chicago. So if you are in that area, make sure that you do that for sure as well. But it's theblackwomanmillionaire.com. So you kind of see the theme of the day. We were talking about ambition. We started out talking with Allison Bond, Miss Gold Digger. Then we talked with Sade, who is Miss Future, Dr. Sade, right? She's talking about branding and sales and marketing. And then we were talking about Dr. Avis, all these doctors here, and Dr. Venus Opal Reese. And one of the things Allison Bond said is, she says, you become the people who you hang around. If you're around 5 people, that these are really like your core people, you're going to become the 6 of whatever they are. So we had some phenomenal guests. I'm just excited to be in the room or connect to them in some kind of way. In terms of that, speakers speak. And so they speak, and they're going to be on this podcast. And I'm trying to bring the best of the best to you every single week. Wednesdays at noon, midday, midweek. All righty. And I'm out. I'm Pam Perry. Go to speakersmagazine.net. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
You are listening to WGODradio.net. Praise up and listen.